Yeah, so what happens is in athletic motion, right, what he's talking about is there's a stretch factor that takes place, right? So if I take the club back and then I wait for a second, I have to do this to create the stretch, right? So what happens is if I'm in the process of letting the momentum of the club pull it back and then I start that way, it creates that athletic stretch and then gives you that speed. So what that actually resembles is kind of how you might propel a kid on a swing. Now you have choices. So here's the kid swinging back and forth. So you take your hand and you don't just shove the kid, right, or else you give him whiplash. So you pull it back, and then right when that slows, you take your hand and you put it on their bottom right there at the back, and then you pull your hand back, and then you give a little push. The exertion of the push doesn't happen back here, right? So that kid doesn't come back and you don't just whack him on the back to send him the other way. You gather the energy here and then you push it in motion. So what Haney's talking about in this motion is it's like grabbing the chain of the swing. Instead of pushing on the kid, you can grab the chain and then it slowly grabs the kid and pulls him back the other way, right? So it's like my arm, if I put it in the chain of the swing, I can push on the chain versus pushing on this way. So when he talks about that, what he's talking about is grabbing the energy and bringing it back the other way. What he's doing is here, I'm starting my motion this way while the energy is going that way. Sometimes that can be easy for some people, sometimes it's hard. So what you have to do for each person is find your own timing mechanism, right? So you see Hideki Matsuyama, here, go, right? And then you see John Daly, he's doing what Haney says. He's here, foot's up, club's still going, and while the club is dipping, he's coming through the other way. So really what it speaks to is, where do you grab the energy? For you individually, do you grab it at its end and then push? Or do you grab it part way back and then push? So each person's a little bit different.